everyone, welcome to this tutorial where we will construct a seismograph to visualize earthquakes and earthquake data so we can better understand earthquakes. This is quite a simple seismograph. You don't need very much. Most of it you'll probably already have. The first thing to do is the paper over your apparatus. I've done it here. If you want to get a almost a perfect ring shape for your wire, I found it works really well if you wrap the paper around an object that's slightly bigger than your magnet. If you're unsure, a good place to start is by measuring the diameter of one of your magnets. So in my case it's about 10 millimeters, and then I found a pen that had a diameter of about 12. Then I could roll the paper around the pen, get a really tight fit, so that when we roll our wire around it, we can push the paper in and be able to slide it off. If we were to put the wire straight on the pen, it might be quite difficult to get it off, particularly if we've tied it quite tightly. You need to leave about 15 centimeters either end. You need to wrap around about 50 times. Alright, so now that we've wrapped our wire around the paper about 50 times and left about 15 centimeters either end, this is a bit more, but we can cut that when we are ready. The benefit of using paper is that we can now scrunch the paper inwards, so that we can slide our ring off like so. So much easier than doing it around a pen or something like that, as we can just slide it off like so, and now we have a nice ring that we can use later on. So we'll just press that down a bit, make it nice and compact, and to let it keep its shape, we can just grab a little bit of tape here. Doesn't need to be a lot, just enough to help it keep its shape, like so. We can wrap that around like that, and just let it keep its ring shape. So now that our ring is ready, we can pop that just to the side for the moment, and at this point we can turn on our hot glue gun, and once our hot glue gun is on and ready to go, we can use the hot glue gun. If we grab our cup, we can use our hot glue gun or scissors, depending on what you would prefer, to melt a clean hole through the top of the plastic cup, and that will allow us to pass the string through that we can attach to our spool and therefore our magnet, and then we can move on to the electronic step. So we'll just melt a neat little hole through here, or if you want to, we can use scissors, and once that is done, I will move on to the next step. Alright, so as we can see, it's finally melting through the cup, so we can push that through a bit and make a nice neat hole that we will pass our string through. If we need to perhaps just get a little of the bit of the plastic out, we can get scissors and just scrape around the edges, make it nice and neat, like so. And now we have a nice neat hole in the top there. So the next step, now that we've done that, is to use our hot glue again. We're going to grab one of our magnets. On the non-magnetic side, we're going to stick it to our spool. So to do so, we carefully grab our hot glue gun, and being very careful not to burn our fingers, we put a little bit of hot glue on the magnet like so, all around like that, and then we quickly grab our spool and very carefully we secure our magnet in place and put a bit of pressure on there for about 10 seconds just to make sure it has time to set. And then we are ready to grab our string and attach some of our string to the other end of the spool. That, whether you want to tie a knot in the end so it's easier to attach, is up to you. And we will grab our hot glue again and add a bit to the string. Again, being careful not to burn our fingers. Quickly but carefully inserting that piece of string into the other end of the spool, and letting it stick there for about 10 seconds. So now we have our string attached to one end of the spool and our magnet attached to the other. So now it's time to unwind a bit of the string, and say we need to make sure it's at least the length of the cup, so we can see about there. We'll chop off a bit extra just to be safe, like that, and then we can put the string to the side, and we can thread our string through the hole in the cup. So now that our string is through the cup, we can put that aside just for the moment, and we can grab our hot glue again, and put a small amount on our washer. Again, being careful not to burn ourselves, so we'll just put a little dollop on each edge, and then we will place that in the center of our plate, and give that time to set like so. Now we come back to our loop of wire, and we now attach that around our washer. Should be a pretty good fit if we've done our calculations at the start correctly. So we can grab a bit of hot glue and put that around the bottom of the wire, and then stick that to the plate around the washer like so, making sure that's stuck down. Now we can grab our spool with our string, and we can place it over the washer, like so, and we can see there's some magnetic force here. If I take away the cup and hold the washer to the hold the magnet to the washer, we can see there's a little bit of magnetic force there. If you want to, you can grab another magnet if you'd like some stronger forces, and you can place that inside the wire ring, and you can hold it like so, and then so we might do that just to demonstrate. If we grab our hot glue again and glue the bottom of the magnet a bit, and then place it in the middle, let that stick. Then when we have our other magnet, it will be attempting to attach to the other magnet like so. However, if it's attached to the string at the perfect length, it won't be able to reach it, and instead it will swing around the magnet, and that will generate the data for our seismograph. So now if we thread our spool back through the cup, and we place the cup over the washer like so, and we feel for a point at which the magnets are interacting with each other, but not actually attaching, and then we can glue the string to the top of the cup at that point to ensure that we have enough force. So about there will work well. Whether you want to glue or tape, in this case I will glue, and I'll leave that like so for a minute just to set, and then that is the end of this stage of the apparatus. So congratulations if you've made it this far. Now we simply have to connect up the electronics, and we can start recording and analyzing our earthquake data. So as we can see, now that is set there, and while we're here we will also glue down some of the sides of the cup, just so that doesn't move, because it's in a good spot at the moment. So just glue parts of the cup like so. Now that we're ready to connect our electronics, we'll bring over our microbit gear, and we will connect our alligator clips to our microbit board. So one of our alligator clips goes onto the 0 pad on our microbit. So if it's not on the front side, it'll be on the back. So we can see here we have 0, 1, 2, 3 and ground. So one of our alligator clips goes onto 0, and our other alligator clip goes onto ground. So there we have one on 0 and one on ground, leaving 1, 2 and 3 blank or empty. And then we can connect these ends to our copper wire like so. And now we can now our apparatus is set up, and we can use our micro USB cable to connect to our microbit board like so. Again, if you had an Arduino, this is pretty much exactly the same process. We just use pin and alligator clips and a USB-A to USB Type B cable. So once that is in place, we can then connect this to our computer or other data analysis device, and we are ready to start recording results. Alright, so the first time we connect our microbit to our computer, we can see orange light on the front, and on the back we have these flashing red lights. So we'll get a hello welcome message, and then there'll be a few synchronization things. And this is all part of synchronizing the microbit so that when we do start shaking our seismograph, we can make sure that our data is correctly translated. Awesome, so now our microbit is syncing, and while that is happening, we can go over to our computer, and so here is our page where we can download the hex file that we will be uploading to our microbit. I will leave a link to it in the description, and in our case we're downloading the microbit seismograph 1.0.0.hex file, so we can download that. And when we've plugged in our microbit to our computer, it should pop up in our dialog. We can see we can grab the hex file from our downloads and place it in our microbit and let that copy over like so. So now that we have Excel open, we can add our data streamer add-in like so. So if we go to add-ons down here, we can select com add-ins and go. And from here we can add the Microsoft data streamer. And now you simply need to plug in your Arduino or microbit controller to your computer and click on the data streamer tab on Excel, click connect a device and select your microcontroller, and then start data to begin streaming your seismograph results into Excel. And now we can explore and analyze the data from our constructed seismograph. Thank you very much for watching.